everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up today, we're going to check in on and do some sort of moral compassing on the whole Kavanaugh thing. That's
We've been inspired by how shitty everyone is being during this Kavanaugh hearing, and so we'll discuss.
So we have
that.
things to say.
Yeah.
Things to say.
Yeah, boy, I love it when our country just shows its true colors. These colors don't run.
Oh, they're running everywhere.
They are just ugly, ugly colors. That's the true colors of our country. All right. Yeah.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah.
I've got a little update about some evangelical do-gooders. Dan, people out there doing good in the world.
Why do I feel skeptical that that's what this really is? Why am I skeptical?
Dan, never.
All of our reporting on evangelicals thus far has always been nothing but glowing.
Dan. This is the good folk at the Downtown Soup Kitchen in Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay.
Dan.
Sure. Good old downtown Anchorage.
Yeah. They run a shelter in conjunction with the soup kitchen, apparently.
Okay. Mostly for moose, or do they let people in?
Women.
Oh, okay.
They do a women's shelter. And right now, the Alliance Defending Freedom, which is, of course, a conservative legal group.
Not really interested in freedom at all.
Not at all. They are arguing in federal court at the moment to allow homeless shelters, like the Downtown Soup Kitchen, to deny services for transgender people.
Of course they are.
Yep.
Obviously they are, because what Jesus said was, be nice to the poor unless they're gross. Unless you think
they're gross.
Unless you're confused by them.
Yes.
If you're confused by them and they make you feel weird about your own gender, then you don't have to be nice to them.
Yeah.
Is what Jesus said. That's Jesus' message. I think that's in the Gospel of Mark. Or something.
Perhaps.
Some red letter shit.
Anyway, yes. So this is obviously coming after the center denied a transgender woman admission to the shelter. The shelter director said that the woman was denied because she appeared drunk. But also, they added that it would never accept a biological man. And quote-unquote biological man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tricky. I get, like, we have to go through all of these machinations. We have to, everywhere that delineates something by gender, we're going to have this discussion, and we're going to have some machinations about it, and we're going to have to sort of figure out what's going on.
Right.
But
this is
when your whole gig is charitable treatment of your fellow human. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, also on the transgender front, the article also mentioned this, and I thought that it's worth bringing up. Apparently, this is something we need to be aware of, because we're coming up to, of course, the midterms this year in just over a month, actually.
Yeah.
Trans folk face some real potential for discrimination at the polls in states that have strict voter ID laws. Because there's usually also, along with that law, a requirement for scrutiny, like the strict scrutiny of the identification cards, and therefore also the person's gender identity, which could lead, of course, to the disenfranchisement of trans folk.
Yeah, that's... Well, okay, so here's the thing. Let's just say that I'm a trans woman, but my ID says male. and I'm dressed and presenting as female, and I walk up and I say, "This is my ID," that's still me.
Absolutely.
I'm in a dress. I've got long hair. I don't have a beard. Fuck you. That's still me.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if it says M, if it says F,
doesn't matter.
How could that possibly make a difference? But they'll use it.
They'll use it.
They will say, you're in a dress. This says M.
This will be the one time that they actually acknowledge that the trans person has a different gender.
Literally, they'll be confusing their own damn selves because they'll be like, aha, you're not really a man. This says man, but you're a woman. Wait.
But you better not use the women's lady room.
Wait, but I don't think that you're a woman. You're just a man in a dress by my own. God damn it. I don't. Okay, let me draw. I'm going to have to draw a Venn diagram here. Hang on.
If this does not distill out just hatred for trans people.
Yeah.
This is it right here.
Yeah, this just proves it.
This absolutely just solidifies that this has nothing to do with a trans person in the quote-unquote wrong bathroom.
No, it has nothing to do with
right.
I mean, that's already pretty transparent.
Or the trans person at the wrong homeless shelter.
Right. No, it's just about, I don't like what you represent.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We don't like what they represent, but we don't try to deny them services. So there you go.
Pat yourself on the back.
We're better than they are. We're really good. All right, I'm taking us to India.
Yeah.
India, as you may know, is a majority, obviously a majority Hindu country.
Obviously.
But 13% of India's population, and their population is big, are Muslim.
Oh, yeah.
So, that amounts to 170 million Muslims in India.
It's a lot.
It's not a small number.
No.
Now, most of the Muslims in India are Sunni Muslims. I don't know if you knew that. But the Sunni Muslims have a thing that they call, let me see, it's called Muslim personal law that governs sort of family matters and disputes. And within that is a really cute little rule that if a man wants to, he can pull a triple talaq.
Triple talaq?
Yeah, Talaq. Talaq is the Arabic word for divorce.
Oh, I've heard about
this. And if you say it thrice to your wife, it's done. You've divorced her. You don't have to, share any of your stuff with her. You don't have to go through courts and sort of divide the things. You just say talaq 3 times, like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And you're divorced. Well, that's not cool.
No.
That is not an okay thing. And finally, and interestingly, in majority Muslim countries, it's been banned. Places like Pakistan, places like Bangladesh.
Really?
Yeah. Nearly 22 countries. Nearly 22. I'm now just reading this and going, what? That's a very specific number to be nearly.
21.
They have... Yeah. Around 20? No. Nearly 22. What the fuck are they writing? Thanks, RNS. But yeah, a lot of neighboring countries have already banned the practice. So an Indian court struck it down, but then the government was unable to pass a law sorting it out.
Oh.
So now there's a new decision they've approved an ordinance to implement the court's ruling until a law can be, I don't know how that worked, but until a law can actually be set. But it is interesting that, the sort of the law in India for the longest time has been to sort of leave a lot of room for different religious practices to govern life in the household. And so for the longest time now, these Indian Muslim men have just been able to fuck their women over.
Talaq.
boom, you're divorced. Here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be 3 times consecutively. It can just be 3 times sort of whenever in any medium. You can text it to her.
No.
And it's fine. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It can be a telephone. You can a social media post. You can just go on Facebook and type it out 3 times, and you're fucking divorced.
That's bullshit.
Kick her out of your house. You get to keep all the stuff.
Ew.
Yeah, so obviously that's not cool. Nice that India has decided not to do it. The Narendra Modi, who's the prime minister, the current prime minister, his government did introduce a bill criminalizing the practice, but the opposition party found that bill to be a little too harsh in their sentencing. There was a 3-year prison sentence for doing this, which seems so weird, like criminalizing it.
Just don't.
As opposed to saying, no, that's not a real divorce.
Yeah.
Nope, you have not divorced her. That's
Right.
what you say. But apparently it's now going to be criminalized.
No, that's the wrong move.
It feels like the wrong move.
I feel like now maybe I don't understand the lay of the land very well.
I mean,
i.e., not at all.
Obviously, we don't.
Because this completely. I have no context for this.
But apparently,
you just don't recognize it.
Yeah, exactly.
Job like you're done at that point, unless of course what they're saying is throwing the woman out and going through the whole process is something that needs to be punished.
Yeah, or maybe they need to criminalize it because people will just not honor the law unless they fear actual repercussions. Like maybe the women, if they were kicked out, wouldn't have access to lawyers or whatever, so they wouldn't be able to sue sort of civilly.
Make it criminal just
to give it some teeth or whatever.
Guess,
it just feels weird. But apparently, even since the Supreme Court struck it down last year, there have been recorded 201 of these talaq divorces just in the last year.
I would be talaqing all the time.
Boy, they better get their talaqs in quick. Well, it's too late now. But a bunch of them got them in. I mean, it's not like there's no path to actual divorce there. Like, just you have to do the actual divorce.
Yeah,
just do a divorce.
File.
Get
it done.
So, I mean, maybe in the eyes of Muhammad, it's a real divorce, but not in the eyes
of Muhammad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what's your name's next big hit?
It's not a real divorce. All right, Dan. Romania.
Okay.
Oh God, the children in Romania, Dan. Defend the children, Dan.
Can't someone help the children?
Oh God. Apparently, there's a referendum coming.
Okay,
Dan, to change the Constitution so that it only recognizes marriage between a man and a woman.
Right.
Period.
Ever.
But protect the children.
Protect the children from all the stable gay relationships.
I know, it's just the absolute worst. Apparently, some schools in Romania, priests have been showing up and have been going to parent-teacher meetings, urging parents to go to the referendum and vote yes for changing the Constitution.
Wow.
Billboards.
That is an interesting marketing technique.
Apparently must be legal.
Yeah.
There's nothing in here about
anyone objecting to that.
Unprecedented moves by priests, right? Or people saying, get the fuck out of here. This is about my kid.
Yeah.
Not you and your political,
religious political bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, billboards are going up all over the country. One of them says, if you don't come to vote, 2 men will be able to adopt a child. And in school, children will be taught that mother is not woman and father is not man.
Oh, no! Someone save the children! I love that. I mean, I get it that, For centuries, this would be a terrifying thing. But in a modern era, and I don't know Romania. I don't know Romania at all.
Like nothing. I know.
But in a modern era, for that to sound threatening is the goofiest thing in the world to me.
Well,
like the whole idea that like two dads might adopt a kid and then what? Armageddon. Like it's like I love that. Like there's no next step there.
right.
It's just that might happen,
Right.
and then the world will keep turning, and people will be fine. Skun dun dun.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst. But what's funny is that rhetoric is still fucking happening in our country. So what am I getting on Romania about?
Yeah.
Because that rhetoric is alive and well
Oh, yeah.
here. I was just watching some videos from the Value Voters Summit or whatever, which just happened.
God.
Woo! They're talking that same language. They believe me, we are the same.
Yeah.
They're trying to protect kids from, things like sex education.
Right. Well, and so here, I don't know the actual like polling on this, but they need 30% of the population to show up
For it to even count?
Well, I guess 30% of the population has to vote for the referendum for it to be validated, which means they need like 50, or it's like 60% of the population or 59% of the population to show up and vote.
Meaning you assume that half would vote one way and half the other way.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it could be 31%, 30% voting for and 1% against, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's actually better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have to have over that 30% threshold voting for it, and it has to be the majority of the vote.
Right. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm going to take us to Israel, where a radio station has recently been fined 1 million shekels.
Oh my God.
That's
a lot of shekels.
It's about 280,000 of these American dollars.
That's a lot of dollars.
It's not a small amount.
It's not as many dollars as shekels, but
Right, exactly. Depends on the day. You got to look at sort of
really,
the shekel dollar.
It's a lot of shekels. Let's just put it that way.
The exchange rate on shekels. Anyway, this radio station happens to be an ultra-Orthodox radio station. And they're fined because they have had a long-standing policy of no girls.
No girls on the radio?
No girls on the radio. No lady friends talking on our airwaves. Thank you very much. The ruling is the result of a 2012 class action lawsuit filed on behalf of ultra-Orthodox women by a group called Kolech, which is an Orthodox women's advocacy group. Mm-hmm. But they weren't the ones. The lawyers were actually from the Religious Action Center, which is actually a Reform Jewish group.
Right.
Because if ultra-Orthodox women actually brought this suit themselves, they'd be entirely ostracized in their community.
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
So it's interesting that they've had to step up and do this.
Huh.
After the suit was filed, the station slowly started letting some women on, and this is a quote from Yael Rockman, who's Kolek's executive director. She said, "But only for a few hours, and only on stereotypically female topics like recipes or education." So
Progress, Dan.
yeah, exactly. They've been slowly letting women on to talk about a delicious new recipe for matzah soup. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, women are reportedly still they're still not allowed to sing. No singing, of course.
God, no.
It would be be far too much.
Why would you ever let a woman sing?
Yeah, it's
just
weird.
The worst.
The ultra-Orthodox are getting really intense. Like, this has been a progression for a while now of cutting women out more and more from all public speaking, from, we've reported before about them trying to make sure that no billboards or posters go up with a woman's image on them.
Right.
It's kind of bizarre. They want to cut women out of everything, which I think is so, like, I mean, I guess I get that, like, patriarchy feels awesome if you're one of the leaders of it, but they all have wives. They all have daughters.
Fuck their wives. Fuck their daughters.
Yeah.
They need to know and understand their place, Dan.
Right. And that place is shut the hell up. Mm-hmm. That place is wherever I tell you that place is.
That's how it works, Dan.
Oh, man.
That's what it's
those guys have it
about.
figured out.
Whew. They go home. There's like a dinner prepared.
Yeah.
Kids are taken care of.
Let me tell you, you want to know how far it's gone?
They don't have to listen to that horrible shrill singing.
Yeah, right? Oh, don't, for the love of God, don't sing. Do you know how far it's gone?
No,
ultra-Orthodox rabbis have ruled that women should sit in the back of a public bus to ensure that men and women don't sit next to each other.
So the front of you can't hear their singing in front of the bus.
Well, and also if they sat in front of you, you might catch a glimpse of their hair or something, and then all hell would break loose within you.
Hopefully it's fake hair.
Hopefully it's fake hair on top of their real hair under a scarf.
Right.
All under a scarf.
It's the worst. I hate to kind of even be laughing at it because it's really just awful.
It's just blatant oppression.
Yeah.
Isn't that delightful?
Well done.
It's nice. It's nice that it's not that there's no. It's nice that there's no religion that's free of just blatant open oppression.
Yeah.
That's great.
Ah, well done. Well done, guys. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
Denmark. Home of Danish people.
Yes, that's very true. They got a lot of them there.
Oh, and they also make those really good Christmas cookies.
You love them.
Oh, those butter cookies, Dan. Can't get enough. Well, right now, their right-wing government.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Denmark. What's going on? What's going on? There's been a revamped naturalization ceremony that
because we know that they've been trying to change things for who gets to be a citizen, and like if you want to be a citizen, you got to go full Danish.
Well, these people who are going through the nationalization ceremony have already done everything else that the country has asked of them to become a citizen.
Right.
Right. Now they're just there. It's
swearing in time.
It's just for show.
Yeah.
Right. You've done it. Yeah. And there's like a little oath, and then it's over, and it's official. Right. Well, they have this right wing government has interpreted part of the ceremony, the very end of it, I guess, where there's supposed to be what did they call it? Anyway, they're interpreting that this one part of it, that there has to be a handshake between the new citizen and the mayor who is performing the ceremony. They must shake hands. Have to shake hands because that's Danish.
Right.
Right? The Danes shake hands.
In this
as a
country,
show of
we shake
respect
hands,
to each
God
other.
damn it.
Yeah. And that is, if these people had, if they were speaking in English and were in this country, that is the accent that they would have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's how this is being interpreted. Obviously, this is being seen as targeting Muslims who would be going through this ceremony.
No. Just because they're the only ones who can't shake hands with a person of the opposite gender?
That's exactly...
Just because of that, they think that it's... just because it's obviously targeting Muslims, and all Danish policies about this subject have been targeting Muslims for the last while.
Now, apparently Muslims have adopted a gesture of putting your hand...
over your...
kind of on your chest, kind of an over heart, like pledging allegiance to the American flag, sort of gesture.
like a gesture of respect.
I'm not going to shake your hand, but this is my gesture of respect toward you.
I acknowledge you, and
yeah, right. And so this is not good enough.
No,
for these crazy folk, and so a lot of mayors are actually refusing to go through with this. Because obviously they're not all members of the right-wing government.
Because some people actually want to respect somebody else's beliefs or whatever.
Exactly. So there's growing opposition to this whole thing.
Oh my God.
But I guess this is not just Denmark. Switzerland, just last month in Switzerland, a Muslim couple were denied citizenship because they refused to shake hands with members of the opposite sex at interviews.
Oh my God.
In Sweden, a woman was awarded a chunk of change. It doesn't show it in dollars anywhere, so it's very confusing.
Do you know it in shekels? How many shekels is it?
Roughly.
What's the Swedish kroner to shekel?
It's 40,000 kroner.
Okay.
After her job interview was cut short when she refused to shake hands with a male interviewer. France's top court ruled this year that an Algerian woman's refusal to shake hands with male officials at a naturalization ceremony was reason enough to deny her citizenship.
What if they did a fist bump? Or like a little elbow wag or something?
It's physical contact, you know?
Let's just do...
What if... Okay.
Can they wear a glove?
I was like, what if you extended a prosthetic arm?
They'd know. They'd know.
No, but
that mayor would know.
Just like, you have to...
You sneak it in.
You just hold it. You know, you're holding it. It's just you're holding a hand on a stick.
That's an interesting point. What if you are an amputee? Then what? Are you exempt if you don't have a hand to shake?
No arms whatsoever.
You have no hands. Yeah. Then what?
A little, they'll pat you on the back.
I'm sorry, you can't be Danish. You have no hands.
They just grab you by the nose.
Let me tell you something. Danes have hands.
They shake your ear.
You want to be a Dane? Danes have hands.
How else do we bake these delicious cookies? You gotta have hands.
Danes have hands. That's their new slogan.
Danes have hands, and we use them,
and we shake them,
and we touch them one to the other.
That's right.
As a sign of respect. That's it.
Hashtag Danes have hands. God damn it.
Can you believe it? They've done everything else, and it is not easy to go through an immigration process, right? Like, it's expensive.
Well, I can believe it because the whole
tests, you have to, these are people who they've shown a proficiency, guaranteed a high proficiency in Danish.
In the language, yes.
Yes.
Because this whole process is designed to just burn the Muslim right out of you and burn in the Dane.
And somehow the Muslim has, they're still refusing to shake hands. We haven't gotten through to them.
Right. And that's the point.
Yeah.
The point is, this is the final test. I'm surprised it's not, you have to shake my hand and eat my bacon.
Shibboleth. You have to say shibboleth.
I don't know what that,
it's a biblical something.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you can't say the TH, right? There's something.
Then magic doesn't work or something?
I guess something.
I don't know that. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I only know it from the West Wing folks. So.
Oh, well, yes. Okay. I'm going to take us finally to England, where, as you know, church attendance has dropped off significantly of late.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We're talking about a country where for centuries, about 5, give or take centuries.
Yeah.
It has just been the default thing that if you ask someone on the street, what is your religion? Church of England.
Oh, yeah.
If someone comes out, if a baby comes out of a womb and you say, what is your religion? That baby will gurgle C of E. It's just default. It's just what everybody is.
Right.
Except not now.
Uh-oh.
And that's interesting. New surveys are showing, for instance, there's one survey that of 18 to 24-year-olds,
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many identify with the Church of England?
2%.
It is 2%.
Shut up.
It is fucking 2. That is the number. You got it.
Ding, 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 ding.
You nailed it.
Frank wins the money.
Overall, fewer than 1 in 7 of English people say they belong to the C of E.
All total numbers.
Total.
Wow.
Between 2002 and 2017, it has dropped from 31% to 14%. Well, the C of E, in uncharacteristically aggressive fashion, has taken to the internet.
Oh, wow.
They are not taking this lying down. They do apologize. I'm very sorry for being aggressive.
So they're being very, very progressive here. Have they? They've opened a website.
They've got a website.
They now.
Oh no, they've got. They're tweeting. They're Instagramming.
No.
I went to their Instagram page and it's literally just they've hit on a formula.
Oh, have they?
They post a picture and then they post a purple thing that's today's prayer. Every day it's a picture prayer, picture prayer, picture prayer.
Nice.
It forms a lovely pattern on your screen.
Oh, lovely. What are the pictures of?
Fucking people in church or whatever. Like, and they, I clicked on one and it had a message that was like, and this was apropos of this story. I clicked on one random one and it was like, are you a coder or a person or a designer or whatever? Would you like to help the C of E reach out? And like they had a symposium or some sort of seminar or something.
Smart. Asking people to help. That's good.
Yeah. They're trying to reach the youngins.
Yeah.
Here's a funny thing.
Are they using good filters?
No.
Appropriate filters?
No, they don't know how. They're trying, and their graphics aren't great. Anyway, here's the other thing. Just a lot of their content. So that, they're posting images. They do like videos and whatever. They also are teach information about local churches and how to pray, and because a lot of these people, they're not going to church anymore. So if they were interested, they wouldn't even feel like they knew what to do.
Oh, how to
a little how to.
First, put your hands together.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
find a quiet place.
But if you don't know how to pray, you want to know one of the ways you could do it?
What?
Alexa, say grace.
Oh, shut up.
Apparently they've got that hooked up.
So your Alexa will say prayer?
Say the grace for you. Sure, why not?
No.
Sure.
Do you have to download like the C of E's app to get Alexa to do that?
I don't know.
Does Alexa just do it?
I don't. You're the one who has one. You should get it. And then
I'll ask.
And then when Dave's around, you just say, Alexa, will you pray over the food, please? Will you say a prayer?
Come, Lord Jesus, be our guest, and may this food blah blah be blessed.
Put us to rest. Yeah, apparently 1.2 million Brits pray online every month.
How do you pray on fucking line? You have a little chat room that you just...
Yeah, you know what? If you want to see something really weird, like the people that do go to... There are prayer websites where you just post a prayer and hope that other people pray it with you or whatever. If you want to see one of the weirdest corners of the internet, and a place where people... One of the rarest things on the internet, which is people being genuinely sincere and heartfelt and open.
Right.
It's uncomfortable. Because also the people who go to prayer websites often are little weirdos. They're kind of... It's like... You see a lot of like, please help Joseph to know that he loves me and he still wants to be with me. And like...
Oh, it's a lot of just sad.
It's so much sad. But then there's also like, please help Cletus who runned over his foot with the lawnmower. And then you're like, okay, well.
Is there much thanksgiving? Is there much thank
you
so much?
It's all I need.
Dear Lord?
It's mostly I need help.
Isn't that just like people?
I feel like you don't... Here's the thing. You don't feel like you need backup prayers for thanks.
Right.
You can just do a thanks yourself. But when you feel like you need... Like, God needs to listen to this extra.
If that app
you need to go
had been
get
around...
a backup prayer.
If that app had been around years and years ago, there would have been so much. Dear Heavenly Father, make this diarrhea go away.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
I mean,
Bless him.
from my own personal experience.
Oh, yeah.
Make this stomach pain go away.
That's there, though.
Make
I
this-
mean, it's
Dear
also
Lord Jesus.
it's also things like
Help. I've drunk too much.
Sammy's abscessed tooth is making his mouth stink like something crazy. Maybe please pray that he'll be get enough money to go to the dentist soon. And
Is that a thing?
oh my God, yeah,
Ew.
yeah.
Oh, poor
Sam
Sam with his
and
abscess tooth.
and his wife who has to smell that mouth.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, hey, if you guys have a prayer that you'd like to send out into the nothingness, send it to us. We'll read it. That would be
It's actually more effective
yeah.
than saying it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It will have exactly the same zero effect.
Well, fact-wise.
Yeah.
But someone might hear it.
Yeah,
at
we'll
least.
laugh at with you. But send it podcast at thankgodimatheist.com is the email address.
Or you could send us your prayers via voicemail. 424-666-8442.
And we will be just as effective at granting your wishes as the Lord Jesus is. Or go to the Facebook page if you want to, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click the like button there.
And while you're on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Also, go over to Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit.r/TGIAtheist and check out the community there. So, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Coach Dave.
Coach
Dave Dobenmeyer.
If
Dobenmeyer.
If toxic masculinity became sentient as a concept, it would be Dave Dobenmeyer.
But no, it could never, because it could never fully achieve self-awareness.
Right. Well,
So,
yeah, there's a fine line. He's
not quite sure.
Dobenmeyer's not actually sentient as a human, all 100%, but he's got some sentience, no self-awareness,
Right.
and is a dick.
Yeah.
So he's got some fun things to say.
Yeah,
about this whole Kavanaugh business.
Oh, I'm sure it's wisdom.
Oh yeah.
So let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
What would be going on in America today if Judge Kavanaugh went before the cameras and said, "Yeah, you know what, that did happen when I went back there. That did happen, but it didn't happen the way that she said it happened. Let me tell you something. She was in there taking on about any boy that wanted to come in there. And if I remember this right, I wasn't the only guy in there. There were a bunch of them, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm telling you, she was giving it out like candy. Now that would, Doug, that would be a boy. They would scream and holler, wouldn't they? They say, "Oh my goodness, you're disparaging her character and all that kind of stuff." There is such a double standard that's going on in America, and it's happened because, truthfully, most men in particular, we're scared of women. We're scared of them. We don't want to fight with them. That's what the title of my commentary today is. We have to learn once again to fight like girls. Instead of, I used to say, "Oh, you throw like a girl." Now we got to say, man, we got to fight like the girls because, man, they're vicious. They're vicious. They don't, not all girls. I'm married to one. I got two beautiful daughters, but you understand what I'm talking about. That Jezebel feminist spirit, brother, that is one of the most powerful ones out there. And be honest with you, right now, that spirit is eating men alive.
By the way, I love it. News with Views. Coach Dave Dobenmeyer has a column there, News with Views. It's time to start fighting like the girls, which was published today. Folks, you got to read this. You got to read this. In fact, we're going to put a link up in the program description box. And Joe, if we can put this up on Hagman Report, at least the first paragraph, and link it back to News with Views. Yeah, brilliant article.
Because see, the girls want to be equal, don't they, Joe? Doug,
yeah.
They want to be equal. We don't really want to be equal. They want to be equal in employment, and they want to be equal in responsibility, but man, they don't want to be equal sexually. Oh, no. And I know that I'm speaking for many males who are watching and listening to this show right now. How about all the time that when you were a teenage girl that some girl got you, boy, she just led you on, then all of a sudden pulled pulled the plug. Every guy that has blood flowing through his body had that happen. Isn't that sexual abuse as well? Well, if in this game of sex, back and forth, men and women equal, I don't get it anymore. How only men can be the aggressor, only men can be the offenders. No, brothers, we got to stand up. We got to say, this doesn't flush. We're not going to let this happen. We're not going to live by this double standard.
Wait a second.
You know, do you remember, Frank, when you were, as a good Christian young man, trying to have premarital sex with a girl, and she made it seem like maybe you were going to get to, and then she said no at the end?
Yeah.
Abuse. She is an abuser of you.
Horrible, horrible young girl.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Hashtag blue balls matter.
Poor Coach Dave.
Coach Dave, God.
He has suffered some serious blue balls in his life.
Yeah,
you can just hear it. You can hear it.
You can hear the pain.
Last minute sexual rejection constantly. His entire life.
Time to fight back. Time to finally fight back against this horrible abuse that we have let go for too long now.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Because he needs to fornicate. That is what he is saying.
He's saying...
He laid out...
Do you remember how we have the right to fuck these women if they say anything nice to us ever?
Right.
And then they revoke that right? Abuse!
Right.
I
have a right to sin before the Lord.
Right? Yeah. But it's not sin if a man does it. It's just like kind of like...
But what about that woman? She has to do it too.
That's sin. If a woman does it, it's sin. We know that. That's obvious.
Jezebel.
These
Jezebels.
Telling you that they like you and then denying you sex when you demand it.
And let's just go back to the way that, so many on the right are trying to paint and always do paint any woman who comes forward. Right.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one. It's her fault. She's the Jezebel.
What was she wearing?
Yeah.
What was she doing?
Right.
It can't just be his fault.
And they want sexual equality, or no, that's the one they don't.
Well, no, he's saying women want equality on everything except sex, because sexual equality to him somehow means that if a woman gets to complain if a man forces himself on her,
right,
then a man should get to complain if
a woman
question mark. Yeah, if a woman denies him sex at any time,
and that's equivalent in his mind.
Yeah, it does appear that is exactly the argument that he is making. That there's a fight that needs to be had. We men are not speaking up for our right to
fuck anything.
Rape you?
Yeah. Yep.
No, sorry, to demand your compliance.
Yep.
Once you've said something sweet in our ear.
Right.
I mean, or, if you were showing me a little bit of leg, maybe a little bit of cleavage, I have a right to that now.
Yeah.
How dare you say no to me? How dare you? Oh, my God.
Fucked. It's actually like one of the more disturbing clips that we've played in a long time. Because normally Coach Dave is appalling and
but it's like
ridiculous.
It's often cute. Like he's so far into left field with some crazy conspiracy theory,
right,
that he himself puts on a tinfoil hat.
Right.
Like that's the Coach Dave that I find kind of adorable.
I never find him adorable. I find him hateful all the time.
Well, of course he's hateful, but within the category of hateful,
where's the subcategory of adorable?
He's
hateful?
Got a dopey cuteness about him where it's like, you're so stupid, you're believing that. Oh, right. Interesting. This is just...
He's putting words to how his sort of male mind works.
Listen, if any of our listeners are men who don't understand what rape culture means and they don't like that term, if you don't understand what rape culture means, this is what rape culture means. The man doesn't even understand that he is equating getting blue balls
Right.
with getting raped.
Right.
That's the equation that he has outwardly made, and he doesn't even see that.
Right.
He doesn't see that those are two wildly different things.
Yes, exactly.
That's rape culture. He's grown up in a culture where that's normal to him, where that's a normal analogy, and he doesn't get that, like, being raped might be a tiny bit worse, or being sexually assaulted might be just a little bit worse than not getting what you want every time you want it.
Right.
There you go. All right.
Thank you. Well, Dan,
we had a caller in, did we not?
We do have someone who called and left us a voicemail.
An in-caller.
So let me pull that up real quick.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
And
after you've left a voicemail. Not live at all.
All right. And here it goes. This is a response to, this ongoing conversation that we've had to have about the priests abusing young men, sexually abusing young men in the Catholic Church.
Sure, yes.
Hey, guys. I'm just calling in regards to something I heard you guys say, and I think it was the second to last episode that was out. It was about, it's actually a pretty common thing I've heard a lot of people say, where one of the reasons why priests are child molesters is often because of celibacy. I actually completely disagree with that, though, respectfully. But the way I look at it, it's kind of as if, when you think about it, it's kind of like you're defending the priest because it's putting it on them. It's like, well, I had no choice but to molest these kids because I couldn't have sex with an adult. I also kind of think I wouldn't be surprised at all if most of, if not all, of the pedophiles in the clergy are pedophiles, and then they become priests because they know that they can access children. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks for that call.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing we should say is that any time we've made the assertion that it's possible that celibacy could be one of the problems here,
right?
We do that with no data at all.
Sure. Yeah.
We're just guessing.
Yeah.
So yes, don't believe that from us.
Right.
I've never seen any data about that.
Right. We like to just talk.
We do. It's a thing we do. It's a little fun thing we do where we ramble on. So yeah, I don't know for sure. I don't know that. I think that it's an interesting point to make that that with the it kind of it I don't think it excuses it, but it's an interesting point that this kind of provides a little bit of cover, maybe.
Well, it's spreading the blame around, and I think that that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. That it's not solely at the feet of the abuser, right? That by also finding systemic problems that you're taking, that you're spreading it a blame. I think there's enough blame to go around.
Well, and
I don't think that, like, by pointing out that there might be something cultural or there might be something this or something that it takes anything away from the actor in that.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Knowing even if we were certain that this was the cause of the thing, that doesn't actually absolve anybody of any responsibility.
Anything away from that priest,
right?
Because he is the broken individual who is,
he's still committing the act,
and he's still doing it.
And once the person committing the act is ultimately entirely responsible for the ramifications of that act. Yeah. And I think it's an interesting point that maybe someone might go into priesthood because they'd have access to children. I think it's actually probably more likely that a person who has pedophilic tendencies might go into the priesthood to try and get away from those tendencies, or hoping in the hopes that
they're trying to fix themselves,
that an apostolic life will fix them.
And I would also,
and then they just get access to kids, and then they're like, well, okay, I'll just go.
I would also wonder how many of these people are also caught in an abuse cycle.
Yeah,
they were abused. They were an altar boy. They were abused by a priest. They feel like there's something now wrong with them. They're trying to fix something. They think that going into the priesthood might be a good way of it. Who knows? Maybe they're also sitting there going, aha, this priest has clearly shown me the way to have access to others. I mean, who knows? This is an incredibly complicated issue. The human psyche is insane, of course.
Yeah, and so it could be all of these things at the same time. Yeah. Like, I mean, this is a far more complex issue than just any one thing being the root cause of this problem.
But I really appreciate that being pointed out.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I would hate for it to sound like we were taking some of the blame off of a priest.
Headline: 2 dopey podcasters solve the problem of priest rape.
Well, we have pretty much in no uncertain terms come out and said the problem with Catholicism, and it is what leads to priests raping children, is forced celibacy.
That's not the problem. That is
a problem. We have said it in those uncertain terms.
Yeah, well, just know, everybody.
So we apologize.
We are uncertain.
All right. Well, we have some people to thank.
Yes, we do.
Dan.
Good.
People who've gone to Patreon through our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and clicked on the support tab.
Here's the thing. The only real way we make the way that this thing keeps going is by our listeners showing their appreciation by choosing to pony up just a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
So these folks people have done it.
And are quite have been quite generous, in fact.
Oh, lovely.
All of the patrons, of course, are generous.
Yeah.
But Sylvia is coming in at the saint level.
Oh, Saint Sylvia.
Saint Sylvia.
Blessed be she.
We have a new pope.
What?
Another pope has joined the ranks, Dan.
Oh, my goodness.
Liz.
Sylvia and Saint. Okay, so we can pray for the safety of Liz. We'll pray to Saint Sylvia for the safety and keeping of Liz.
Indeed. So thank you to the both of you.
Yeah.
Also, we need to thank our Lord and Savior Emeritus, Angela, and, as always, our Lord and Savior,
our reigning champion,
reigning top donor, Jenny!
Hooray for her! Blessed be she, and all of our patrons.
Yes,
it's what keeps us going.
Absolutely.
You are literally the wind beneath our wings, and we thank you for it.
Quite literally.
Yep.
Amen.
Amen.
Dan?
Yes, sir.
There have been developments.
You know what we should
what should we do?
Sorry, but what we should do is play that first little bit of that Coach Dave clip.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay.
Just to remind ourselves what he said, because you and I said almost exactly the same thing as we were discussing this.
Right. But
in a very different way.
Very different way. I would hate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's hear this again.
What would be going on in America today if Judge Kavanaugh went before the cameras and said, yeah, you know what? That did happen when I went back there. That did happen. But it didn't happen the way that she said it happened. Let me tell you something. She was in there taking on about any boy that wanted to come in there. And if I remember this right, I wasn't the only guy in there. There were a bunch of them, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm telling you, she was giving it out like candy.
So, okay. So that's what he said. That's
right.
Cute. What if Kavanaugh just said, yeah, I did it, and I have a right to do it, and fucking she's a whore, and I'm a man, and blah, blah, blah. What you and I were talking about was, what if when Kavanaugh was accused by Miss Ford of getting wildly drunk,
right,
and sexually assaulting her, attempting a rape, and then she got away.
Right.
What if he said, you know, I drank too much back then. I even if he said, I don't actually recall what she's talking about,
right,
but I have to acknowledge that that's possible because I got blackout drunk a bunch of times,
right,
I was I wasn't as good a man then as I hope that I've become now.
Right.
And so this is a possible thing, and I feel,
well,
what if he acknowledged?
I think when we first were going down this road, what was in my mind was, what if he flat out said, more than that, I remember this. It plagued me for years. I've been to therapy. I've worked through this. I've spoken. This is now into territory that I don't necessarily put a lot of credence in, but a lot of the country would. I've spoken to my ecclesiastical leaders. Right. We've gone through a process. I feel that I'm right with the Lord. Right? Like, what if he had shown a contrite heart and that he had, quote unquote, repented as a good Christian would do?
Yeah.
Right?
What if he had actually been a Christian about it?
Yeah.
Now, my personal feeling would be that unless he had gone to her,
right,
and asked, and tried to make some sort of amends with her.
No, that's true.
He wouldn't have done it.
And I guess if he had done that, she would not have come forward, probably.
Right. But I mean,
because
I think
if it had been done in sincerity, right?
I think the point that you and I are making here is that's the Christian route.
Right.
That is the prescribed how you repent route. You take responsibility.
Yep.
You confess your sins. Mm-hmm. You make you make some sort of retribution. Mm-hmm. You absolve yourself. Now, actually, that's not one of the things that we should point out here is that I'm wrong in that the current actual Christian route is you go to your priest.
Right.
You don't go to the other person, the person that you've wronged.
Right.
You go to your priest. You say, "Oh my God, I did the thing." They say X number of prayers. Dab yourself with holy water or whatever the fuck you do.
Some cholera water.
And voila, you're absolved in God's eyes and you get to go to heaven.
Right.
Well, you've skipped the most important step in all of this.
Right.
You cannot take responsibility for something you've done without acknowledging and somehow including your victim.
Right.
Like, that's just impossible.
Right.
Now, do you need to force your victim to see your stupid face?
No.
There's trauma there.
Right.
If you've traumatized another human, they may not welcome your presence in their life. But there's lots of ways that you can do this. You can write a letter. You can do whatever you got to do.
Yeah. A letter probably being the appropriate first step in something
as
traumatic as this.
Right. And then if they request a face-to-face, then you fucking honor that shit. Or, whatever.
Right.
You do what you got to do to actually make it right.
Yeah.
But we, in this country, this country is no good at that shit. This country is terrible at actually writing a wrong. Mm-hmm. We don't know how to do it. We're awful at it. And we don't approve of it when it does happen. Mm-hmm. We like to shame people. We're much more interested in shaming someone than we are in actually getting something righted.
Yeah.
But also, I think the thing that really set us down this rabbit hole is that all of these professed Christians have no interest in the moral road here. There's all of these, we've got all of these, senators and whatnot who are professed Christians.
Oh, they'll claim it till the day is done. Right?
Yeah.
But they won't actually be Christians.
They won't take the moral Christian step.
Because they are Christians for power. They're not Christians for belief and quote unquote righteousness and blah, blah, blah. Morality. Any of the things that Christianity could offer them.
Right.
They're only, half these guys, they don't give a rat's ass.
All of these guys don't give a rat's ass.
I mean, even just about the title of Christian.
Oh, no.
I don't know what percentage, but I bet a ton of them don't even believe in God.
No, yeah, or don't even bother to ask that question of themselves.
Right.
They believe in God because it's convenient to believe in God and because it's productive for their ends to believe in God. Right. But the proof is in the pudding. Mm-hmm. And the pudding is that we've got guys like our beloved Orrin Hatch making statements, overt statements about, well, we'll get over this speed bump with this woman, and then we'll ram him through. We'll make sure that we get him through. We just got to get around this obstacle, There's just one more obstacle, and then we'll get it taken care of. And a bunch of senators have statements like that, making it absolutely crystal clear that their goal is not to discern the truth.
Right.
Their goal has nothing to do with understanding whether or not this man is an actual sexual assaulter and whether or not that would be, and like, there's a lot of questions that come with that.
Right.
Is that enough to preclude him from being on in the Supreme Court? Is that, but they're not,
But they don't want to have that discussion.
They don't want the discussion.
They want him on the Supreme Court.
Right. They believe that he will carry forth the things that they want to be carried forth, and the actual character of the man isn't at question.
No.
They don't actually want to know.
Lots of empty statements about what a good man he is.
Well, he coached girls basketball or whatever, so got to be a good man.
Yeah.
Never an actual question.
Not gotta be.
Yeah,
No requirement to be a good man to do that.
Or even to be a judge or whatever. When the actual question comes up, and of course there's lots of politics happening in terms of like when Feinstein revealed this and stuff. Like there's sketchy stuff on all sides. Fine,
but yeah.
But if you believe in actual morality, then and you want moral justices on the highest court in the land,
right?
You have to actually look at their actual character when it's challenged.
Yeah.
And they're not interested in the least. And we're not saying anything that our listeners don't know. Our listeners know that these men are hypocrites.
Absolutely.
That they are believers for convenience.
Yep.
But it's just telling how far that's gotten in this country.
Well, yeah, and it's why Christianity is broken.
Christianity utterly broken.
Why are people leaving churches in mass numbers like we've never seen before in this country?
Not enough, but yeah.
Because the institutions are more interested in political power than they are in, doing good and being good.
And the whole reason that they want Kavanaugh on the bench is because they claim he'll institute he'll be an activist judge. Right. They want activist judges on their side,
right? Exactly.
Who will destroy the separation of church and state, who will fight for what they see as quote unquote Christian ends. That's their whole reason that they want him on there. But it's a smokescreen.
Yeah, but it's still all in the pursuit of power.
Yeah.
Power over people. The religious folk want more power.
Christian religious folk.
The leaders of those movements, they would love to have more influence in the system.
Absolutely.
Right? So we need to
it's just, and it's not easy to call these people to account for their obvious hypocrisy, because they will argue, they'll just circular reason their way around it. They will do a bunch of whataboutisms and whatever. But it's important to point it out. It's important to say, I see that you're claiming one thing and doing another.
Yeah.
That you're saying I'm Christian when it's convenient for you, but you're not doing what would be the Christian thing.
Right.
Like Jesus would not approve of your actions.
No.
But, as long as you're going to get Roe v. Wade overturned, that's all you care about. Look, we'll put in look, I'm not calling Kavanaugh an evil man. I don't know Kavanaugh.
Right.
This hasn't been thoroughly investigated. I believe his accuser, but
accusers at this point.
That's true, multiple accusers. But here's the thing. They're not interested in whether or not he's a good man. He could be a purely evil man. And if he'll enact their ends, which they believe are Christian ends, then that's okay to them. Obviously, Donald John Trump is an evil man by their own metrics, by all of their metrics, and they ignore it completely because they believe it serves their ends. And that cannot be morality. If you're okay with an evil person being in charge of the country, because you think that it serves your ends, you have given up the moral high ground entirely.
Yeah.
So,
isn't that funny that we can, that both sides of the discussion about Donald Trump agree?
Yeah, sure.
On his value, or not his value, but his value,
his character.
His character.
Yeah. I mean, but they don't agree because they will apologize for it. They will run circles in their own mind trying to say,
they just stand to benefit from him. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So they, of course, I mean,
he's a good man.
No,
he's a good man. He's done some stuff in the past and whatever. But you know what? That's just the liberals overblowing it. That's just the liberals saying, you know what? They're trying to make him look bad by using his own words and actions.
Right.
They're just trying to make him look bad.
Right.
It's crazy. It's insanity. It's hypocrisy. And that is what rules the day right now at this moment in history. You can't even
more
call him
obviously than ever.
It's alarmingly obvious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right.
Hey,
that's
if you want to call us to account for our hypocrisy, you can do so.
Yeah.
Write into us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Indeed. Hey, go to that Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click that like button.
And while you're on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we'll let you in.
We will. Hey, go to also Reddit. Go to reddit.com/r/TGIAtheist. And speaking of the onlineness of the world, we have some folks to thank. Thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of her hard work on the Facebook page. Thanks to Sarah, Danny, and Amy on the Members Only Lounge.
And big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
Yeah, and thank all y'all for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All of our patrons.
Yes.
It's what keeps us going.
Absolutely.
You are literally the wind beneath our wings, and we thank you for it.
Quite literally.
Yep.
Amen.
Amen.
You are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero?
Put that in the outtakes.
Did you ever know that you're my...
I don't think you know this song.
Did I ever know
as a gay man of the 90s, I think you're required to know the Bette Midler catalog better than you do. You didn't even say the line about higher than an eagle. I can
fly high, high against the sky. So high you barely touch the... Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank God for you.
Thank God for you, my wind beneath my wings.
Okay. I'm very happy that happened. We're all very happy.